am I supposed to do now, huh? Tell me. You seem to have all the answers for me, my life. You went out and you destroyed something sacred. Something that meant more to me than anything.
Look, Thorne, I know this is no consolation, but there was an extremely important reason why we did what we did.
Does the end always justify the means for you, Ridge? You treated me with no respect, with no regard for my feelings. You treated my love for Brooke like it was nothing. Like you have the right to decide what is love and what isn't. Can't you see how shallow, how arrogant that... I mean, who do you think you are, God? Brooke was all that mattered to me. This wasn't some damn high school romance. That day in Venice, near the Rialto Bridge, when I asked her to be my wife, it was the happiest day of my life. I didn't have any qualms, no questions about what I was doing. I just wanted her to be my wife. How could something so beautiful be destroyed by a lie?
I wouldn't really call what you saw a lie.
Come on, Taylor. You both admitted it. Brooke would not have been on that bed if you hadn't manipulated her. In one disgusting, vile, senseless act, you two took something that I treasured and you turned it into something repulsive. You hurt me. You hurt me worse than you could ever imagine. When I walked out of that hotel room, after what I saw, my world was over. A human couldn't be any lower than I was. Then I looked up and there was Macy.
We certainly didn't plan that.
Oh, how so convenient, isn't it? Just played right into your hands. There I was, finished, vulnerable, and Macy, one of my best friends in the world, always there to support me. It's almost inevitable how it was going to turn out, huh? But it shouldn't have turned out that way. And you two know it.
I got home at about 10 o'clock that night. Drunk, as usual. My boy, he's 11. He came up to hug me and asked me how my day was, and I just pushed him away. I said, "What the hell do you care?" I had a big blowout with my husband. I threw dishes. I broke a lamp. The kids, they were so frightened, they locked themselves in the bathroom. Finally, I just left. I swear, I wanted to kill myself. And then I ended up here. I haven't had a drink in 2 days. I don't know how much longer it's gonna last, but that's my story.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Roberta. One day at a time, all right? Okay. Anyone else want to talk?
John, I'd like to say something. I'm Macy, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Macy.
You know, for some of us, it's not just one day at a time. It's one moment at a time. You know, you have to focus on the very next minute, the very next step. I've had to do that for the past 6.5 years. That's when I took my last drink.
Good girl. Excellent. Excellent.
You want to make me an offer?
Yes, Morgan. A job offer. I know that you're currently not working.
By choice, Brooke.
Of course.
So why do you think I'd be interested?
Your lifestyle is pretty well documented.
Oh, and you think I need to support that?
Just a hunch.
Well, I have a hunch of my own.
What's that?
There's a lot more going on here than just a job offer. Thorne, don't you think, regardless of the way it happened, that there is a grain of truth in what you witnessed in that hotel room?
Truth? It was a bold-faced lie, Taylor, and I bought into it.
If you really believe that, then why haven't you ended it? Why? Why don't you just tell Macy? Tell Macy you were duped.
Do you really think it's that simple? Just sit Macy down and tell her what you two did, and then just send her packing. See, that is the problem with people like you. People who act irresponsibly. And you, Ridge, you've been doing it for a long time. You don't see the impact of what you've done. You two and Dad set something in motion. Something so dark and evil and sinister. And Brooke, Macy, and me, we were the victims. We got swallowed by it. And you want me just to stop it? Are you really that naive? Or are you just so corrupt that you don't have a clue?
How'd you do it? How'd you make it through those first few days without a drink? That's the way I'm feeling right now. I don't know if I can make it through one night.
You seem like a successful woman, right?
I own my own business. I've done all right.
My mother and I, we own our own businesses, and I tell you, I know about the long hours and the sacrifice.
No, but that's not gonna help me now.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Roberta, but that is exactly what is going to help you now, that kind of concentration now and for the rest of your life.
Roberta, you have got to just harness that concentration and just beam it in on everything positive. Your family who misses you. Your work, your faith, every aspect of your life, every aspect except one. And that's your desire to have a drink. That you cannot think about at all.
Concentration. That's all it takes.
Well, you're going to need to work the program. And you're going to need a lot of support.
Did you have support?
Well, I'm happy to say that Macy had support. Support of her father and me, a brother, a sister. Most of all, one very special man. her husband.
He was there for you when you first stopped drinking.
Yeah. He's been my rock and my security. I tell you, I would not be here today if it wasn't for him.
But what if you didn't have your husband? Because that might be the situation that I'm in.
Well, for me, it would be difficult. Because we've been through so much together. But we're back on track. It was a long and uphill battle, though, Roberta. But now that we've made it, I can honestly say that I can't imagine my life without him. And I'm not saying that he's responsible for my sobriety. That is my responsibility and mine alone. You go home. You go home and you make amends with your husband and your children.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's gonna be okay. Why do you really want to hire me, Brooke?
Obviously, you're a very talented designer. Any fashion house would be lucky to have you.
But you already have two of the best designers.
Ridge and Eric Forrester, yes. Which is precisely why I need to find somebody else.
Brooke, I'm not following you. Ridge and his father are the reason why you want to hire a new designer?
I don't want to go into detail, but let's just say that Ridge, Eric, and I aren't seeing eye to eye lately.
Business differences.
No personal.
Oh, which prevents you from working with them.
I can barely stand to look at them.
So I would be walking into a lion's den.
I won't let it affect the working environment.
Oh, it sounds like it already has.
You would be my liaison with the design department. I would communicate with you and you only.
Well, how closely would I be working with Ridge?
Very closely. You're both in design. Why? You would only have to answer to me, not to Ridge or to Eric. That's the whole idea.
Thank you, Brooke, but I'm not interested.
You didn't even ask me what the salary would be.
You couldn't pay me enough.
Why? You just don't want to work?
No, I don't want to work here. For one very good reason.
That was very good advice you gave Roberta.
Thank you, John. I hope you don't think I was out of line.
No. You were right on the money. You know, the next few days are going to be very crucial to Roberta. She's going to need a sponsor.
I was going to talk to you about that. She really is going to need somebody good.
You're right. Which is why I'd like to know if you'd be her sponsor.
Me? John, I'm still in recovery.
We're all still in recovery, Macy, but you've been sober for a number of years. Long enough to know that work those 12 steps. It has to take precedence over everything else in your life. You know that. And that's why I know you're ready to become a sponsor. That's right.
Thanks.
Let me explain this to you two, okay? Macy didn't come to Venice to get me to marry her. She came to Venice to warn me about Brooke. She was worried about me getting burned, because you see, Macy knew how I felt about Brooke, and she knew what it would do if she turned on me. She wanted nothing from me, except to let me know that she would be there if things fell apart. She did know it already had. I had never been so touched by how much she cared at that moment. Standing there in the rain, so selfless. Almost as though my happiness was more important than her own. So she left, she went to the airport, and I followed her. And I stopped her from getting on that plane back to LA, and instead, we took a flight to Amsterdam. And I asked her to marry me. And you know what she said? She said, "No, Thorne, this isn't what you want." But really, she was scared because she didn't want to get hurt again. So I had to look into her eyes, and I had to swear to her that this marriage was going to work, that I would never hurt her again. And I meant it. Every single word of it. But what I didn't know is that Brooke really hadn't betrayed me. I don't know if you have any feelings left in you, Ridge. But if you do, I want you to think about what you did to your little brother, okay? Well, I've got to go do the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life.
What's that?
I think that's pretty obvious.
You're going to tell Macy the truth?
You guys did good. You did really good. You have destroyed 3 people's lives, okay? You think about that. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
So you don't want to work here for one good reason. What might that be?
It doesn't matter. The point is you need to find someone else.
Wait, before you go. This is what I'll pay you to be my designer.
Why are you doing this?
Because I trust my instincts. And my instincts are telling me that you are the woman for the job.
You have no idea what you're getting yourself into, Brooke.
Do you want the job or don't you?
Send the paperwork over to my hotel, and I'll be here first thing tomorrow morning.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello?
Thorne, hi. It's me.
Brooke, I can't talk.
You can't keep shutting me out.
Listen, Macy just drove up, okay? I'll call you later.
So you're going to tell her? You're going to tell her the truth about what happened in Venice?
I gotta go, Brooke. Yeah, Brooke. I'm going to tell her today.
Thorne? I am so excited. I had the most incredible day.